Grr.
Hey dolls, it's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, with another makeup and movies. This week, the makeup is the brand new, well, not so brand new right now, but it was when I got it, Chi Trixie Mattel makeup collab BFF Forever palette. I chose this palette not only because it's new, but I chose it in honor of this week's movie, Connie and Carla. Two BFFs forevers, if ever there was one or two. So, if you'd like to see how I created this look while I dish up the Connie and Carla tea, then stay tuned. Okay, so here's the potato, blocked and powdered and highlighted, and I don't do any of that on camera because it's boring, but I do have some videos where I do contour my nose and I do block my eyebrows. So if you would like to see them, the links are down below. I want to start off this by saying thank you to Michael Bergantino, who sent me the kimchi palette, the collab with Trixie. I love that there's that, I don't know if you can see, yeah. We used to get playing cards or collector cards that did this. Sometimes they were prizes in like cereal or Cracker Jack or what have you. But I want to thank Michael for sending me this. This is a fun palette. Now, it's a very bright palette. I'm going to let you know there's no depth in this palette. The darkest color is this shimmery purple, and you can't do depth with shimmer because, well, it's bright and sparkly. So the neutrals, these neutrals are really good for my eyebrows, so I'm not upset with those. And I really do like the pigmentation of the pastels, but this is definitely a companion palette for other things. I really love Chi's formula. I think she's got a great formula. I don't own a lot of her stuff. I've been sent a couple of things. These two palettes, the Virgin Mojito and the, this is the Virgin Mojito, and this is the Mango Tango. This one, the purple one, is a little deeper than the yellowy green one, although this green right here is a good green. And the nice thing is, with these two palettes, let me see if I can, I can do it like this. All right, so with these two palettes, I feel like they make up some of the holes that this palette has. Like there's only this one, this one green, that minty green. It looks minty on camera, but it's pistachio, and it's a beautiful green. But there's only that one. I mean, this green down here is a shimmer, and this green up here is a glitter. So it's a limited palette in that I think that it just lacks a bit of variety. I feel like they put too much into this. They could have got rid of this neutral row altogether if they were so married to having these this glitter row and this shimmer row, and this is also like a satin row, like there's a definite shine to these. This one almost looks like a multi-chrome to me. I don't know if, yeah, you see it goes from white to pink. So that's a multi-chrome. This might be a multi-chrome as well. Hard to tell. No, that's just a nice. This is more, I think, for people that want to do maybe a one and done with a shimmer on top, daytime look, you know what I mean? Or, I mean, you could probably get into some festival looks with this because it's very bright and very fun. I thought also, just to help out, because this is a Trixie and Chi collab, that I would be using Trixie's Plant Gay because it's got greens and pinks in it. I have to say, I am not a huge fan of Trixie Mattel eyeshadows. Her best eyeshadow is the Daytime Realness one. It's a blue one. It's gorgeous. It's my favorite blue eyeshadow palette. I have yet to experience a real black from a Trixie Mattel palette. Her brushes, stunning. Her blush, I'm using her blush today. This is my blush. It's the Trixie Mattel Summer of Blush palette. And the reason I love it is because it's got two tones of blush, deeper for for you know, depth, and this pink for just lovely. And this highlighter, I've hit pan so hard on this, it's not even funny. But this highlighter is gorgeous because it's pink. It's just this ever so pearly light kiss of pink in it that I just love. Why am I using this palette, you ask? Well, it's because we're talking about one of my favorite movies. It is Connie and Carla. I'm not going to lie to you, it's not good. It's not well written, which I say with love. It's not clever. There's no surprises. There's a lot of holes in the story that don't bother me, but they are there. This was released in 2004. This was Nia Vardalis's second film. She had just come off of the success of My Big Fat Greek Wedding. It was the most financially successful film of that year. She'd signed a multi-million-dollar deal for scripts, and she had that one in her dance bag. This I'm just going in with Thorny on Main from Trixie's Planet Gay. This is a classic buddy film. It's very similar to Some Like It Hot, where the characters are hiding in drag. The problem that I have with movies like this and Tu Wong Fu is, you know, people going around in drag. If you look at drag queens, they don't do that. It's a lot of work. No wonder RuPaul has other people do it for her, and only when she's being paid to show up like that. Good for RuPaul. I wish I was that person. Do you know what I'm saying? But in the movie, Connie and Carla are walking around with the other drag queens like during the day, and they're the only ones in drag. No one's in drag all day like that. So I'm going to go into Dahlia with a short, I don't know what my brush's names are or numbers. I don't care. I go by shape, and I like that kind of a shape, that short little packer brush, just to, what did you call me? Just to get it on. Do you know what I mean? So I'm putting this purple like right on top of that grungy, browny Skid Row color that I got out of the... So as I say, Connie and Carla is a buddy film. These two friends have known each other since public school. It even opens up with them in public school, and they have an affinity for show tunes and singing together. They are cabaret queens in the making. We transition immediately to them doing the exact same act, but in a cafe in an airport. So people haven't even paid to see them. They probably just thought, yeah, okay, as long as you don't interrupt the customers, you can do what you want. But anyway, so that's their friendship. Their friendship is very Laurel and Hardy, and I feel like Connie is the Hardy. She seems to be the one with the plan. So I feel like Carla is the one. She's not tagging along because she has nothing else to do, but she wouldn't have come up with their trajectory if it had been left to her. So while Connie and Carla are working at the airport cafe, the owner of the cafe, I guess, clearly has a nefarious connection with the underworld, because Rudy and his henchman Tibor. I went to school with a rotten little kid named Tibor. So funny. It's the first time I've ever heard the name Tibor since, and it was always one of those things for me in the films, like, oh, it's too bad that kid's name's Tibor. Anyway, so Tibor and Rudy are looking for Frank, their boss, who Tibor just keeps calling Fat Man. Where is Fat Man? He's Ukrainian or something. I don't know what his nationality is, but it's not a joyful one. And so every time he says Fat Man, the girls always say he has a gland problem. And these are kind of some of the things for me that I love about the script of Connie and Carla, is that it's just so completely unnecessarily hokey, and there's a lot of just very glib little throwaway lines that are just so funny, but it takes the focus off the movie. For me, it's very hard to tell whether or not Connie and Carla is like a caper movie. Are they hiding out from the cops? Like, they are. It's the impetus for why they're in drag, but like the slapstick almost takes any attempt at tension out of the script for me. And that's just an observation. It's not a deal breaker. Again, this is one of my favorite movies. But I think that's a lot of depth out of those two colors. Thank you, Trixie Mattel. Maybe I maybe I judged too harshly too soon. I'm just gonna say. Now I'm gonna go back into BFF with a packer brush, and we're gonna use the orange. It's called Wild Poppy. Woof, Wild Poppy. I love orange and pink and yellow all together. So not only do Connie and Carla witness the gangland slaying of their boss, before he died, Frank slipped a, a pound of coke into their dance bag without them knowing. They have no idea. So the girls tear out of town. There is this greatly written scene. I mean, it's hack, but it just was well edited, well written, where Connie and Carla are in the car wondering what to do next, while Rudy and Tibor, they're all wondering how are they going to find Connie and Carla. One of the bags that Connie and Carla left behind in the rush was their work bag, which has their schedule book of where they'll be in shows and things and all their contact numbers. So, like, they can't go to any theater they've ever worked at because it's all in that tote. They can't go. So they're starting to discuss, well, where can we go? We have to go somewhere where there's no culture. So they decide on LA. Now I'm going to go into this yellow. It's a bit of a satiny yellow. It has a little, yeah, it has, I'm going to call it matte just because it's such a bright color that the shimmer on it doesn't really register. So they land in LA. They do this. It appears like they work at this one place one day before they're fired, which they get a job in a spa where they do mud wraps, and they meet this woman who thinks she's fat, needs all these mud wraps and things, and they're trying to convince her that she's normal and thin and pretty, and she's not buying it. And she's been completely LA-ified. Her hair is straight, but not in a nice way. It's not moving. It's just straw straight. And she's got a beige lipstick on, no color on her face. And they say, don't worry, we'll fix it. And they do. They put her into like a beautiful hairdo and really beautiful color. Of course, Mrs. Morse loves it, but the owner of the spa, or the person that's in charge of the spa, hates it because it's not clearly not their brand or their look. So they get fired, and while they're kind of nursing their wounds in a gay bar, they don't know it's a gay bar. They're getting drunk, they're dancing with cute boys, and then all of a sudden the cute boys start making out with each other. And then all of a sudden the music starts, and these drag queens all step out on stage, and they start performing. And Connie, while she's standing there watching these drag queens, she finds out that this queens on stage have been signed to, or are leaving to go to Vegas, and they're looking for a new act. So Connie comes up with this idea, and the next thing you know, they're at the bar dressed like drag queens ready to audition. One of the reasons that I love this movie so much is that it stars Alec Mappa as one of the drag queens. He and the actor Steven Spinella, you've seen him in a dozen things. He always plays a lawyer, someone a little tight, but he is the bartender, and his drag name is Peaches, and Alec Mappa is his roommate and drag partner, and his name is Cream because they're peaches and cream. And Alec Mappa is so funny. My name is Cream. What does it even mean? So funny. And of course, he plays up his Filipino accent for this role. So he's constantly saying things very quickly, and they're all like, "What?" And it's just very, very funny and very back and forth. There's a very French farce quality to this script. But again, as I say, I really wish. I just feel like they missed it. They somehow or another they just kind of they forced the humor, maybe, I don't know. But there are moments, and Alec Mappa, every scene he's in, like, watch his face. It's just hysterically funny. Now, I say that because I've watched Connie and Carla over 10 times. It has to be over 10 times. It's one of the movies that I'll throw on while I'm getting ready in drag. And I think that's a pretty good rainbow. I might tap in just a bit more purple right here. It's a musical. It's a musical where they sing, and they sing all these great show tunes, and they do it in their nerdy little cabaret style way, and it's just so charming and delightful. And what was funny is because of the success of Big Fat Greek Wedding, when it came to doing Connie and Carla, they literally had their pick of whatever they wanted music-wise because there was no expense spared as far as the studio was concerned. The Nia was a hit with Big Fat Greek Wedding, and so whatever song they wanted, regardless of its royalty costs, they made it happen. So Connie and Carla enter the bar and sign up with the owner, who is Ian Gomez, who is Nia Vardalos' actual husband. And he's lovely. They sign up as Al and Mikey, which is their boyfriends' names, and they go backstage and get ready. And it's just funny because it's all these queens getting ready. Connie's fine. She's got a plan. She's good. But Carla's just looking at all of these drag queens and wondering, like, well, we don't look like them, you know. Our music's too high. Sound like girls. And so Connie pulls one of their cassettes out of her bag and starts to pull the tape. This will lower our key. So she's going to consistently stretch all of the tape, the exact, just silly. Then she tries to get Carla to sound more like a drag queen. Connie says to her, just repeat after me, girl, what you wearing, your prom dress? And then Carla says, girl, what you wearing your prom dress for? It's just very funny. It's actually, that's one of the quotes me and Wilma mean. It's like, girl, what you wearing your prom dress? And it's just very funny. But anyway, so Peaches and Cream go out and perform to Time Warp and bomb miserably. There's another drag queen, Paul. He's a tall boy, broad. I wouldn't say he's like overly worked out, but he's fit. And he there's no hiding his body. He's got man arms and things. And I have to tell you, that's my favorite drag queen. I love a big old set of man arms and a spaghetti strap. I don't know why. It just calms my soul. I don't know. But anyway, so that's Paul, and he's played by an actual drag queen from Vancouver named Robert Kaiser. And I'm sorry, I don't remember what his drag name is. But in the movie, she doesn't have a drag name because she's a new queen. And so they're constantly throwing names at her, like one of the other queens' names is Patty Melt. So they suggest patio furniture or crystal decanter or just a whole bunch. And she's constantly like, no, that's not me, no. And then one of the other cast members is David Duchovny, who plays Steven Spinella, Peach's brother. And this is where the movie starts to become very convoluted, because it's not enough that Connie and Carla are escaping the mob. It's not enough that they're hiding out with drag queens, but there has to be a romantic storyline too with Connie and David Duchovny. Fine, I get it, fine, but it was just a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like, even, like, there was all these plot points. When the girls are driving away, they find the cocaine. Carla kind of opens it and the cocaine explodes in the car. And now they're driving down the highway, leaving a comet trail of cocaine dust. And we cut to them the next morning, and Carla's like, you know, chewing her teeth and talking too much. And Connie just kind of comes to, and it's like one of the reasons they're being chased is this cocaine. And they kind of lose it, and then it's never brought up again. Like, there's never any, like, where's my cocaine, or you're dying because you lost my cocaine. Like, there's none of that. They just seem to be like, I mean, I know that the girls witnessed them creating a crime, but at the time, Rudy seemed to be very upset about his cocaine too, so I don't know. So they audition, they do cabaret, everyone's stunned that they're singing live. The one thing that they don't think is that they're not men. They absolutely accept them as drag queens who sing live, and they're thrilled. They get hired by the club, and they start their world domination. So So I'm going into Mango Tango, kimchi's Mango Tango, and I'm going for the Sky Blue. This is cute. All of the names in her little palettes are bilingual, French and English. So it's Sky Blue and Bleu de Ciel. Kraus? Ciel. Bleu de Ciel, as they say. But this is a nice Caribbean blue. I'm excited. All right. So Connie and Carla are hired. The club immediately starts doing better. So much so that Connie talks the owner, Stanley, into creating a supper club instead of like turning the bar into a cabaret space. The other queens, Peaches and Cream and Patty and Paul, they all befriend Connie and Carla, not just because they're drag queens, but because they have this great act in the bar, and they think that it's a great opportunity for them to kind of get in on their act, so to speak, by doing backup stuff for them. And so now the act has become this this 2-woman show with backup dancers. They even have at first a live piano player, and then they end up with a band. And while all of this is going on, Connie's kind of falling in love with David Duchovny. Of course she is. And in fact, this is something else that bothered me about the script. Every time Connie and Jeff, is David Duchovny's name in the movie, run into each other, they literally run into each other, like smack down, knock someone on the floor, and it just becomes tired. Like 1 or 2 of them would have been good, but there was 1 or 2 that were like, what was that all about? But one day, David's come by. He and his brother, Peaches, are estranged. Peaches tells Connie and Carla about how her parents found a bra in her room and kicked her out, and he left without really saying goodbye to his little brother. And David Duchovny talks about how all he did was wake up one morning and he was gone and had no idea. No one told him why. But all he knew was that his brother was gone without a word. And I think he sent his grandmother a Christmas card, and that's how Jeff finds him. And he just wants to reconnect because he's getting married and he wants his brother in his life. And Peaches, of course, is a little suspect of all this, but Jeff breaks him down. There's a backlash when his fiance shows up, and it's a huge moment. Like in Cream, Alec Mappa's character is about to throw down. It even affects Connie because Connie had a run-in with Jeff where one night he showed up after the bar. Robert's nowhere to be found, so Connie takes him out for drinks. He says, I'm not as uptight as you think I am. And she looks at him and goes, yes, you are. I'm going to take some of Trixie Mattel's Plant Gay, the color Soaked, which is a little tealy green color. I'm going to take that one. And so she takes him out to a bar. They start talking. She asks him if he's attracted to her. And he says, you as a woman, you're very beautiful. And she goes, oh, you can handle me. You can handle a woman like me. And he goes, but you're not a woman. And she kisses him. And he has the best reaction to it, which is to just make this sound that's like, and just backs away from her and leaves. It's a real moment for her. So later, she's getting ready for the show, and she's sitting next to Carla, who's eating. She's eating a cake or some such thing. I remember hearing, because Toni Collette's a vegan, and for her to sit there and eat a chocolate cake, they had to find her a vegan one. But thankfully, they filmed this in Vancouver. This whole movie was filmed. All the interiors are all in Vancouver, all studio in Vancouver. And they may have used some exteriors as well, but they do have some shots of West Hollywood, which is where they're supposed to have moved to. But anyway, so there's Toni Collette, Carla, eating chocolate cake. And Connie suggests to Carla that they watch their weight, the royal they, and Carla kind of loses her mind with Connie. It's like, how dare you? How dare you make me feel, like it's just, and this is the thing. The film has this other message, another one, it's not just a romantic story. It's not just a comedy. It's not just a caper movie. It also has this message about women's self worth and all of that, and body image, and and it's an important message, but it just really, in my opinion, it just really kind of gets lost in the sauce. I just feel like it could have been either made more of a point, but it became secondary. Like, I feel like if they'd made that more of a point, and the relationship starting with David Duchovny as a secondary part, like it almost, because of this message, this is now happening. She's able to leave the bad boyfriend and kind of allow a good one into her life. But again, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she wrote it that way and it ended up being flipped around. I don't know. I'm now going to go into Sapphire from the Kimchi palette, which is this gorgeous blue. So, oh, by the way, I never talk about these things. I am wearing a Lar de Souza design. This is Wilma, as imagined as Rosie, the maid from the Jetsons. I love it. I'm just saying, you can get anything with that image on it from my Redbubble store. So the girls are on stage doing their opening number, and Carla stops the music and immediately says, "I need to tell you all something." And she says, "I'm an eater," and tells women that they should embrace their bodies. If you're naturally thin, that's fine, but then plugs that the place is going to be a dinner theater and that people can eat while they're there. So I'm just taking some eye booster from BH Cosmetics. This is just glitter glue. It ends up that the girls get so famous, the show gets so famous that the local news does a story on them. And because that was on the air, Carla's boyfriend and Connie's ex see them. This doesn't make sense, but somehow or another they work for the guy that's trying to kill Connie and Carla, and he finds out that they're their boyfriends. So he pays them to go find them. He says, "Here's some money. Go get your girls. I can't see this marital discord in my life. I want your kids to work it out. And when you find them, call me. I want to know how it all turns out." And so they do. They find Connie and Carla, and of course, they Connie and Carla find out that they, who he works for, and they got to get out of there. But the club is opening. They're having their opening night, and they can't leave Stanley and the Queens high and dry without. I'm just putting "Let Them Eat Cake," which is this glitter over top of the blue, and it looks gorgeous here. It's very rainbowy. I don't know how it looks to you, but yeah, that is lovely. So they devise a plan where they'll just stay for the opening night. They'll leave quietly, and that way the club's a success. The Queens can continue to perform. Stanley doesn't lose any money, and everybody's happy. And in walks Debbie Reynolds. Now, one of the things that's cute about this movie is that clearly Connie is a huge fan of Debbie Reynolds, and so by association, so is Carla. And one of the things they keep saying is a Debbie Reynolds quote, "Chins up, boobs out, it's showtime." And what happened was Carla had dropped off a flyer for their show at her house from the Map of the Stars. So she came by to see what was going on, and they're like, oh, can you be in our show? we open tonight. There's no time to rehearse. And she goes, "Oh, honey, I've got sheet music in my bag, gorgeous gowns, and a good underwire bra. I could go on now. So chins up, boobs out, it's showtime." And Connie and Carla lose their minds. So they're doing the show. Debbie Reynolds makes her appearance. The crowd goes wild. And then in walks Rudy, and Connie and Carla stop, and they don't know. So the band kind of forces the rest of the queens on, and Connie and Carla kind of try and sneak out of the. They're trying to find a way. They're backstage, and Tibor tries to grab them, and they kind of throw some costumes at him that shimmer beads all over there and blind them for a second. It's very slapsticky. The cops show up, and so then the cops all leave with the bad guys, and now the whole club is left, and there's Connie and Carla, and everyone else just staring at them like. And she goes, "Okay, so let's take it from the top of I don't know what song." And Debbie Reynolds goes, "Hey, what the hell was that?" And this is very unnecessarily scripted and orchestrated and back and forth between Connie and Carla and the whole audience. They all talk like a Greek chorus. So they admit to them, and they're actually women, and they flash them to prove that they're women, and there's reactions. Then, of course, Jeff shows up, David Duchovny, who's missed everything. And this back and forth still continues, and Connie says, "I'm a woman," and they kiss, and it's over. But I have to say, it is such a cute little movie. I'm not going to lie to you and say that it'll change your life, that it'll cause you to reevaluate your view on the world. There are no Oscar-winning performances in this. There's just a bunch of people who look like they were having a good time doing the movie. Some of the other things I like about this film are the fact that all of Nia Vardalos' family, because they shot it in Vancouver, her family's all from Winnipeg. They all kind of are in the audience. When you see group shots of the audience, oftentimes it's her family in there. I like that there's something about the film where the hope of it being a big hit was clear because the money's there. Debbie Reynolds, I don't know what she charged to be in that movie, and I'm sure she didn't charge premium, but it couldn't have been cheap. Nia Vardalos is a Second City alum. She went to Chicago from Toronto and did Second City, and she was known as an improvisational singer while she was at Second City. It was she would often sing and just break out into song, but she loves to sing. So clearly she wrote this movie with the idea that she could sing in it. And if she hadn't have had such a big hit with Big Fat Greek Wedding, I don't know if she would have been able to have sung the songs that she wanted to. And then Toni Collette is a singer. I mean, one of her films after Muriel's Wedding was Causey, and it's a movie, an Australian film based on a play about a theatrical therapist working with patients at an asylum. And it's a great movie. It's a great movie. It's an ensemble cast. If you know Australian films, you recognize every single person in the movie. They're all famous Australians. In the movie, Toni Collette sings Crowded House's song, Don't Dream It's Over. Hey now, but she sings it a cappella. It's just one of the most fabulous moments in a film for me. And Toni Collette has a great voice. And that's why I really enjoyed Connie and Carla, was because we got to see her and hear her sing. She really does have a great voice. And that's the other thing. Both women sang everything. They sang live during the takes, even though they had recorded everything. It was a good, it's just I don't know, there's just so much theater in this little movie. So, yes, it's a tight little package at the end of the movie. Everything, Carla and her boyfriend clearly are going to allow themselves to date. Connie's ex is gone. Debbie Reynolds is worshipped by the gays yet again, and there is peace in the land. I highly recommend you watch this film with your best friend and possibly some alcohol. I don't want to disparage this movie. It's not bad. It's just not good. I don't want to oversell it because I like it. I mean, let's be honest. It's no Ishtar, so you're safe there. But yeah, I just think it's just a fun little movie, and I hope that I hope that when you do, if you do see it, that it isn't the worst thing you've ever wasted an hour and a half on and you curse my very existence. That's the little prayer I say before I go to bed. Okay, so I'm going to put on my eyebrows, my cheeks, and my eyelashes, and maybe a little lippy, and I'll be right back with the finished look. And so this is the look. I finished everything off with my C-Color Contour Powder. This is an excellent palette. I think it's $8, C-Color Cosmetics. I'm not sponsored by them. I just love them. I also used Plant Gay from Trixie Mattel. I also used Sky Blue from the Kimchi palette, Mango Tango. This just because I felt that the blue in the BFF Forever palette wasn't as strong. It was also a shimmer. And finally, I also used the Summer of Blush from Trixie Mattel as my blush. This is my favorite blush. I use this a lot. I've been using P. Louise a lot lately. They're really good. But this one was my first blush love. And as you can see, I've hit pan severely in the highlighter. And I don't know if you can see, look, oh, I've hit pan in the red. The pink, which I feel like I used the most, still holding strong. So there's that. But the star of this show is the Kimchi Trixie Mattel collab BFF Forever. And this is just a fun little palette. As I said, it is a great companion piece. I mean, as you can see, look at the pigmentation is spectacular. The colors are good. Even though this is a pastel palette, everything is bright. I also used this Let Them Eat Cake as a topper on my eyelid and as a highlighter on my eyebrow bone. There's a lot of use in this, but as I said, I did need to go into the Trixie Mattel Plant Gauge just for some depth. I could have gone into any palette, but I thought I'd keep it in the fam. And so there you go. That's the look. The movie, Connie and Carla, again, there are no award-winning performances. This is not a great script. God bless Nia Vardalos. I think Nia Vardalos is a good writer. She's a solid writer, but she's not reinventing the wheel when she's writing like a romantic comedy or something. And I felt that this movie, as I said, is just a little too many things. Romantic comedy, caper, buddy film, romance. Oh, no, we said romance. There just was a lot. Oh, the message of body image for women. Like, there's just a lot in this. And unfortunately, I think a lot of it does kind of get lost in the sauce, as it were. But Toni Collette and Nia Vardalos singing live, show tunes, Debbie Reynolds, drag queens and more drag queens. How can you not enjoy this movie? I'm not saying you'll love it. I'm saying you'll enjoy it. I love it, but that's because I don't have a boyfriend or a cat. So there you go. That's our makeup and our movie. If you tried the Kimchi Trixie Mattel BFF Forever palette, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments down below. As far as Connie and Carla go, let me know what you thought about that too. If you haven't seen it, have a look and then let me know. If you have seen it, I'm open to all of your views and opinions because we're all entitled, I'm just going to say. And until next time, miss me! Mwah! Seriously. You look pretty good.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.